What is going on, everybody? So today, guys, we're gonna be talking about a serious topic. Like I don't really get into things like this. You guys know me. I try to stay drama free. Occasionally, we joke around on this channel. We joke around a lot of things, but we never personally attack anybody outside of the game. And I hardly, maybe never, ever made a video on someone in the game versus game content. But there's a difference between game content and real life stuff. And this is a serious matter, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. And what this creator did, I was pretty much being stalked. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I want to say it was Sunday morning. I got a message from a fellow veteran, right? And he told me, "Hey, please don't say nothing. Please don't put my name out there." So I promised to him that I would not do that. But what he did tell me is, he said, "Hey, Skills, just so you know, they have your name, your address, your phone number. I don't know what else they had." And he said he doesn't know what they're gonna do with this information. I just want to give you a heads up, be careful. And you know me, I'm not really too worried about too much. I'm currently active duty for the United States Coast Guard. A lot of you guys, if you didn't know, now you know. I usually try to keep my veteran status with content created separate, right? I've always done that. If you guys follow me on social media, you don't see anything on there, veteran or ex-Army, now active duty US Coast Guard. You never see that. I don't put that out there. The only time you guys might have seen is when I made a video a long time ago when I did my face reveal. I mentioned it slightly. And then also I did a veterans post not too long saying, "Hey, thank you everybody for your service," with a picture of me in my uniform. And that's it. I hardly ever post it anywhere. I try to keep it separate, try to keep the two different. And I've always been like that. And you guys know me. Anybody who's been day ones with me know how I work, right? I always keep one separate from the other. And the fact that this was even becoming an issue, that someone would go that far from taking a game and then really worried about who I am outside, really started to worry me a little bit. And you know, like for me, I just find it kind of funny. So I did my research. I looked at, he also sent me some screenshots, and I'm only gonna show you one of them. But I will tell you, when I did call out this creator, the first thing he did was say it's public info. And then he started to backtrack and say, "Oh, but there's more screenshots. Why don't you show them all?" And the whole point of this is, it should have never got to this level. And if you're letting this in your community, you're in charge of that community. You have a responsibility as a content creator, the community you build, whether it's in your Discord, Twitter, or wherever you build that community you're building, you're technically responsible for that. So if you're brewing, stalking, if you're brewing this information and you're spreading this information in your chat room, which if you go to my Discord, and we'll pull it up in a second, complete opposite. And I'm actually pull it up for you guys right now. We'll pull up my Discord just so you guys see, because this would be a good example real quick. Our chat room, we have YouTube videos, right? I just post all my YouTube videos there. You can see them. And then we have introduction, everybody who comes in. We have a general chat, people talking. We talk about upcoming games. We have an animals talk chat. We have a movies and TV shows. We crack jokes. We have tattoos in here. And then you go to Safe House, nothing but division, all division stuff. We have builds, looking for groups PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox, raid boss guides where people talk about it. And I even created a clan recruiting page for all of you guys who want a clan. If you're looking for a clan, active clan, there. Strictly all gaming. My mods in here know, hey, if there's anything that it's toxic, it's not permitted. It's actually in my rules, right? Like if you go up to my rules, in my rules, it says, it talks about it. If you're gonna be toxic in here and talk about other players, it's a no-go, right? I don't even let people bash creators in here. So first off, that's number one. Number two, we're gonna take a look at this picture, right? So this picture, and then I'm gonna give you some background in a second, says, why did he say he's Navy then? Then person two says, others say Navy. Person one says, bro really lied about his military status. And then person four says, no, he didn't say, I said others said, hearsay. And then he says, oh, 9 years in the military and he can't take social media comments. Dude definitely cried in the army. The other dude said, comes back. This is back and forth, same person with another person. It says, oh my God, it gets worse. He's a butter bar at 9 years means he sucks so bad. A lie, but we'll talk about that in a second. Dude laughs. Then someone says, talks to other two, looks like they're probably other two vets, because it says Sergeant Potato. Can you believe this, bro? I'm at loss for words. Someone goes, there y'all have it. It's the truth. It's been set free. He's a walking L. And it says, Jack, is it possible to see if he's got a dishonorable discharge? So they're trying to they're literally trying to stock different things, right? Like all this stuff. And then what's him says, he's still in. And then the says, oh, that's right. You said he was in the reserves. Bro's getting exposed left and right. So this is the type of community that this creator is building in there, right? And I was like, cool. You know what? Let's talk about it, right, guys? Any of you guys who are no day ones knows I don't push veteran status at all. People ask me in my stream because they might seen something, seen a post, seen something, and they ask, hey, were you in the Army? What did you do? Blah, blah. And then I'll talk about it a little bit in my streams, but I typically try to stay away from it. First off, I commissioned as a reserve officer in the United States Army. And about 6 months into my commission, I took active duty orders for 3 years. And then I took another set of orders. So pretty much out of the 9 years I was in the reserves, technically, I was on active duties for 6.5, almost 7 years total with those on orders, right? So I never drilled with a unit. I think I drilled 3 times with a unit, and all the other times I was on active duty. Now, I'll tell you, another thing is then I went in active reserve for 2 years, and that's where I had a little break. I started working on my master's, have not finished it, and then I went back on active duty. Now, in 2018, I got out. I was like, you know what? I want to try content creating full time. I did it. I was having a blast, made a lot of money. And then my friend is a Coast Guard recruiter. He's like, yo, you got a lot of active duty time. Why don't you come active duty for the Coast Guard? So I was like, I applied for it. It's a very competitive program because Coast Guard is small compared to any military branch out there. And I think 4 people got selected out of everybody who was trying. I was one of the 4. I got selected. I commissioned in right when COVID hit. So that was 2020, April 2020, right? So from then till now, 2 years and 7 months, I've been on active duty for the United States Coast Guard, and my contract is coming to an end. I'm about 3 years. Haven't fully decided if I want to stay in long term. I think I want to pursue and continue working on some businesses I work on the side. And then obviously I love content creating, so I wouldn't mind working for a big company. Not still do YouTube, but I want to do bigger edits for bigger companies long term. And that's kind of where I see myself having fun, enjoying, relaxing. And throughout my time in the Army, I went all the way up to captain. So I did hit 03 in the United States Army. And then when I got out and I applied for the program in the Coast Guard, one of the stipulations was, since I am learning a new craft, I am going from an intelligence officer to a response officer. It's just better for me to go down. And it wasn't too much of a big deal because at 1.5 years, you hit Lieutenant JG, and then at 4 years, you would hit 03. So I wouldn't miss too much, but I would still get 03 with my full time in, which they would even include my reserve time. So it would be total 12 years at the end. So it's actually pretty cool, right? So I was like, you know what? It's not a big deal. The pay difference, I took a pay cut, but I make money on YouTube. It wasn't a big deal. I was doing it more to just see how I would like the Coast Guard. That's it. That's my story, guys. And I personally don't even like sharing this with everybody, but I felt that someone attacking you, stalking you, supposedly has your phone number, your address, your name, which obviously they did. And I think the reason why they had such bad information is they were literally pulling up my LinkedIn, which I hadn't updated in years. The last update I think showed that I got out of the Army in 2017, when obviously I've been in 2 years and 7 months in the Coast Guard. Only reason I have LinkedIn stuff on there is because at some point I thought I was gonna work in the corporate world, so I kept updating it. And at the moment, that's just not a path I want to take. So I didn't really update it. So recently, I went in there and updated in case I have people who continue to stalk me. But the bigger issue is I'm not worried about any of this. But I can imagine somebody who doesn't have a military background, who is just a civilian, is probably be scared that someone's stalking them this much, getting this much information, and then talking in a Discord about this person, trying to find out if they've been dishonorable discharged. Whatever you wrote in that chat, it should have stopped. It should have 100% stopped right when it was even asking. And at some point, he replies in all these tweets. It goes back and forth. If you guys want to see it, it goes back and forth. And he says something he wanted to find out what my military service was. What does it matter what my military service was? That's the point. What does it honestly matter what my military service was? If you want to talk about my content, talk about my content. If you want to talk about, if that's how you want to build your fan base, talking about Nothing But Skills content, then talk about his content. But what does it matter what my military service was when I don't post it. If you go to my about section, doesn't even say anything about a veteran on there. And the only reason people really know is because people ask, and I'm honest with it. It's like, hey, yeah, what do you do outside of content? And then we talk about it. Hey, I'm the United States Coast Guard. So my thing is, there is no reason for you to be diving into whether it's a veteran, whether it's a civilian, whether it's anybody, their content. That's stalking. And to spread that information, try to dig for information, find stuff that, yes, it's public information, but why do you need that public information if this is a video game, right? Where we're creating content on video game. This isn't real life. So my thing to you is grow up, become a man, and focus on yourself, because obviously your content isn't there. So at the end of the day, work on you as a man, work on you as a creator, but stop worrying about other people and stop crossing that line between content and real life. And at the end of the day, all this should have never been an issue, because you should have stopped it at the very beginning. And you shouldn't have even worried about, was I in the military? What was my background? What I did? This is content, and that's real life. So whatever I do, personal and work, I separate the two, man. And you need to too, because what you're creating in your community, it's very toxic and very dangerous, because you don't know the people who you're with, who could be crazy, who could try crazy things, and it's all gonna come back to you. So at the end of the day, I'm putting this out there. Don't be a shitty creator, man, and get a life. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Hopefully this made some sense to a lot of you guys. I'm just very frustrated with the whole situation, and this is the last time you guys are gonna hear about it. And now you guys know what I do outside of just being a full-time content creator. All right, guys, I'll see you guys again. Until then, hey, nothing but skills out. Take it easy, everybody. God bless.